What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my Massive Asylum, and also welcome back to History Behind the Horror, episode number 9. Now, today we're going to be looking at a highly requested character that was highly requested ever since I first started doing the History Behind the Horror series on Outlast, which is Jeremy Blaire. Now, before we start this video, I'd like to give thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel and gave likes. I really do appreciate it. I was supposed to have did a video giving thanks for 300 subscribers, but as of the last day and a half, we hit another 100 plus subscribers, so now we at 450 subscribers, I believe. So thank y'all so much for that. I really do appreciate it. And make sure, if you do like this video, make sure you give it a like, and also if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do, because we got a lot of things coming up very soon that I'm sure you will enjoy. So thank you so much for listening to this, and I hope you enjoy the video. Jeremy Blaire was one of Murkoff's high-ranking officials, the head of Mount Massive Asylum, and a supervisor to Wayland Park. He serves as the primary antagonist of Outlast, the Whistleblower, and is arguably the series' true main antagonist due to him being behind the morphogenic engine experiments that led to the events of Outlast in the first place. Intending to keep the experiments a secret, Murkoff hired paramilitary forces to guard the asylum and also appointed Blaire to become head of the asylum and report back to them with results from the experiments. Blaire was especially dedicated to keeping what's happening inside the asylum a secret and going as far as to institutionalizing, torturing, killing, or enrolling at the morphogenic engine program anyone who tries to expose Murkoff and their plans to the public, due to the fact that Blaire and many people who work for Murkoff could be sent to prison for crimes against humanity if exposed, as well as the possible large profit from these experiments. Jeremy Blaire makes his first appearance in the server room located in Block C of the underground lab, where he and several security guards ambush software engineer Wayland Park, who over time develop a strong hatred for Murkoff and their goals to achieve profit through these experiments, and has secretly sent emails about the illegal activity at the asylum to several journalists, including Miles Upshur. After a guard brutally strikes Wayland to the ground, Blaire starts sadistically mocking Wayland about how he thought that
a borrowed laptop, onion router, and firewall patch
will fool the world's leading supplier of biometric security, and even calling Wayland's actions
stupid and crazy.
Somebody's been telling stories outside of class.
On the floor! Down! Hands where I can see him!
Mr. Wayland Park, consulting contract 8208. Software engineer with a level 3 security clearance. Graduated cum laude from Berkeley, but still somehow not smart enough to realize that the last thing a fly ought to do in a spider's web is wiggle. Somehow dumb enough to think that a borrowed laptop, onion router, and firewall patch would be enough to fool the world's leading supplier of biometric security. Stupid, Mr. Park. More than stupid. In fact, that was crazy. I'm afraid we're going to have you committed. Mr. Park, will you willingly submit to forced confinement? Did you hear that, Agent?
He said yes, Mr. Blaire.
Great. Oh, and did I just hear Mr. Wayland Park volunteer for the morphogenic engine program?
That's what I heard, Mr. Blaire.
That was brave indeed, Wayland. The Murkoff Corporation and the Onward March of Science both appreciate your bravery and sacrifice. Maybe you could administer Mr. Park here a light anesthetic.
Gladly.
Blaire, in an effort to silence Wayland, has Wayland exposed to the experiments against his will in a restricted experimentation room until the patients, the variants, and the wall rider break free, causing havoc and killing doctors and guards on the way. However, Blaire somehow manages to evade certain death and escapes from his lab amidst the chaos. Wayland himself is released thanks to a harmless variant.
fucking all over the gloves. Open you up and show you. It's her. You ain't right there.
Even though Blaire escaped from the lab, he decides to remain at the asylum to ensure that no one exposes Murkoff's actions, as Blaire and his associates will be sent to prison, regardless of if they escape from the asylum. Blaire manages to reach the asylum prison complex because there's a short radio wave located in the prison and can be used to call the authorities, which will eventually find out the situation at the asylum. Blaire finds to his surprise Waylon getting in touch with 911 and quickly strikes Waylon to the ground with a baton. While Waylon is getting off the ground, Blaire destroys the radio beyond any usage. Waylon then tries to escape from Blaire, however he ends up getting struck again by Blaire, who tackles Waylon to the ground and tries to strangle him to death with the baton while berating him for not willing to keep his mouth shut and just play along. Blaire almost succeeds in strangling Waylon to death until he hears Chris Walker coming. Fearing for his life, Blaire quickly exits the room, but not without telling Waylon to do him a favor and die, then hastily leaves, likely hoping that Walker could finish off Waylon. However, Waylon manages to evade Walker and escapes the prison.
Couldn't just keep your mouth shut. Couldn't just play along. Now. Do me a favor and die here, Park.
Blaire doesn't show up again until the end, when Waylon enters the administration block after killing Eddie Gluskin at the vocational block and finds Blaire seemingly injured and slumped against the exit of the block. Blaire is surprised to see that Waylon is still alive. While still on the ground, Blaire offers Waylon a deal. Waylon helps Blaire up and Blaire helps Waylon. Hardly feeling sorry for the corrupt Murkoff executive and determined to expose the truth, Waylon ignores Blaire and is about to exit the asylum when Blaire suddenly raises up and uses a medium-sized knife to non-fatally stab Waylon in the abdomen while telling him,
"Fucking die already."
Blaire then declares,
"No one can know about the events that took place at the asylum,"
and is about to kill Waylon when the Wall Rider, under the control of Miles, ambushes and lifts up a shocked Blaire in the air, who screams in terror about the Wall Rider's escape. The Wall Rider / Miles then enters Blaire's body from the inside and tears Blaire to pieces, killing him instantly.
Mr. Park. Help me up.
Dire! No one can know! No one! How to get out? No! Nothing!
Jeremy Blaire was like most employees at Murkoff, an arrogant, greedy, and corrupt Murkoff executive who did not much care about the patients who Murkoff experimented on, but rather cared about the profits that could be earned from the brutal experiments. From his appearances, Blaire was shown to be ruthless, psychotic, cunning, and particularly psychotic as shown in his delightment of mocking Waylon about his attempt to expose Murkoff and asking him if he wants to volunteer for the morphogenic engine program and pretending as if Waylon agreed. Blaire was very desperate as he tried his best to not allow Wayland to expose the truth about the illegal experiments, and even tried to kill Wayland twice so as to cover the truth and not ending up going to prison if he survived. Ultimately, Blaire's desperate attempts at keeping the experiments a secret that were conducted at the asylum only resulted in Blaire getting killed in the process and Wayland Park escaping the asylum and exposing Murkoff. Blaire, however, was shown to be able to take care of himself by escaping the underground lab, despite merely being an executive, and made his way to the prison to destroy the shortwave radio, even though he knew the dangers and risk of his life, as variants were everywhere and they could have easily identified Blaire as a Murkoff man and tried to kill him. It is also unknown how Blaire managed to survive the asylum for 12 hours while Wayland was Blueskin's hostage. Furthermore, Blaire is shown to be quite strong as he manages to tackle Wayland to the ground and nearly strangle him until he heard Chris Walker coming and cowardly fled, believing that Walker could finish the job. However, he failed to catch Wayland. It's possible that Blaire intentionally injured himself at the administration block to fool people who tried to leave the asylum into thinking he needs help, and when they approach him, he kills them with his knife to prevent them from escaping and exposing the chaos at the asylum. Wayland describes Blaire in one of his notes as his supervisor's supervisor, and that he would have had Wayland skinned, salted, and raped for a promotion and a few merits. Blaire is a man with fairly toned skin and a calm demeanor in his late 30s. He possesses comb black hair with a matching unbuttoned office jacket revealing a white short sleeve undershirt. He also has neat black pants and matching shoes. Alias: Mr. Blaire, Jer, gender, male, hair, black, eyes, blue, career, Murkoff executive, affiliation, Murkoff Corporation, status, deceased, died September 18th, 2013, manner of death, dismemberment by Miles Upshore's Wall Rider. And that yet ends another story from Outlast, and it's been declared that Jeremy Blaire is the biggest scumbag of all time. I never knew that he actually stood back to make sure no one got out to tell the secret. I thought he actually got caught in the crossfire, everything going crazy, and happened to be there when it happened and he had to escape his own way. But no, he decided to stay there to make everybody else suffer even more so he can protect his own butt. That's actually, that's the most scumbagish thing you could do. So I actually thought that the main antagonist of the game was Chris Walker, because he was like the biggest problem. At least for me when I played the game, Chris Walker was the biggest problem I had. So I'm thinking, oh, that's the main antagonist of the game. No, it was Jeremy Blaire, because like I said previously in the video, if it wasn't for Jeremy Blaire, none of this would have happened anyway. And the Wall Rider would have probably never existed if it wasn't for Jeremy Blaire. So Jeremy Blaire, you suck. So that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you give it a like, and also if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do, because we got a lot of other great stuff coming up soon, and I'm sure you wouldn't want to miss it. Also, remember to follow me on Twitter for updates and other things such as that, and when a new video coming up. And you can also ask any kind of question you want, and I will answer it quickly there, more quickly there than I do it in the comment section. So if you got any ideas for a new video, make sure you let me know, and I'll highly consider it and try to get it out as soon as I can. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you on the next episode of History Behind.